Welcome to Discover Northern Kentucky. I'm Amanda Okasik, and I'll be taking you on a tour of the Riverside Drive statues here in Covington, Kentucky. But first, let's take a look at how the statues came to be.
The Greater Cincinnati Bicentennial Commission was, at the start, only interested in things that dealt with Cincinnati and southern Ohio. They really weren't interested in any way in doing anything for northern Kentucky, because it really was the Cincinnati celebration. So I had a kind of an ongoing war with particularly the executive director, who was fantastic. His name was Rick Grywey. And I kept fighting to have something to be done for northern Kentucky. And after a number of, I guess, years, he finally had everything set up for Ohio, and he said, okay, we'll do something in northern Kentucky. And somehow we decided to do statues on the riverfront. We had an idea, and the idea was to get unusual people who were maybe cut out of a different cloth, people who would fight for what they thought was right. And we had probably 50 names of people that would have been suitable, and we narrowed it down to 6, then we added the Dan Beard statue.
Now that we know why the statues are here, let's go check them out. The Riverside Drive statues start and end with both of northern Kentucky's 2 historical national landmarks. The first is none other than the Roebling Suspension Bridge, and right across the street from that bridge is John A. Roebling.
And John Roebling, of course, they thought he was wild because he wanted to build a bridge.
John Augustus Roebling was born in Mulholland, Germany, and this was in 1806. He grew up there. His father owned a tobacco shop. His mother was the one, they say, that made sure he went to school because he was a very intelligent young man. He played the piano and the flute.
He became interested in his studies in engineering and how he could apply those here, and he became involved in constructing bridges, and in the process of so doing, he devised wire rope, which he then wove into huge cables.
The group here in northern Kentucky that wanted, we're talking about a bridge here, and it formed the Covington-Cincinnati Bridge Company. They had him come down and look at the situation here and make a proposal for a bridge here at Cincinnati. That was in 1846.
Roebling's Suspension Bridge was finished and opened to traffic in 1867. John Roebling then started making plans for the Brooklyn Bridge in New York, but died in 1869 after suffering a foot injury. His son Washington went on to finish the bridge. As we continue down Riverside Drive, the next statue you will see is Simon Kenton.
He was a real frontiersman. He was the equivalent of Dan Boone. So one of the reasons it's so important for him to be one of the statues is because we named our county after him.
Kenton County and Simon Kenton High School are both named after this man. Simon Kenton first came to northern Kentucky in 1772. He is known for exploring, scouting, and settling much of Ohio and Kentucky. Simon Kenton was born in 1755 in Virginia, but fled to the frontier in 1771 after thinking he had killed a teenage rival.
He became a great woodsman, became an expert marksman with a rifle. He developed the photo memory for landmarks and and so forth. He became well known for his ability as a woodsman, and Kenton grew into a large person, raw-boned, over 6 foot tall. He would eventually become a tough pioneer leader, not necessarily real loud or talking a lot, but just physical prowess. He became a tough leader in the pioneer era.